All right, what's up, guys? Ray Realm here. Make sure to rate, like, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon on all platforms. Make sure to be rate, like, and subscribe, and give me some feedback, all that stuff. All my links will be down below in the description of this video as you're watching this wrestling review. Make sure to be hitting the bell icon. Can't say that enough. It helps out, and stuff like that. Make sure to be thumbing up and liking the videos. It helps for algorithm reasons and things like that on all my video platforms. And wherever I put this on, like I said, just be watching, liking, commenting, give me some feedback. So we're going to talk about GCW's For the Culture. This was a pay-per-view, I believe, during WrestleCon weekend. So WrestleCon happens during WrestleMania weekend. So WrestleCon is pretty much the other wrestling con outside of WrestleMania Access. So wherever WrestleMania goes, WrestleCon goes, right? So WrestleCon's a big deal. It's a huge event during WrestleMania weekend, so forth and so on. So GCW had 3 different events. I think they had Josh Burnett's Bloodsport, and then they had the DDT and GCW presented with Eddie Kingston and all that. I'll be reviewing that because I watched that. And then we have GCW For the Culture. So there was a lot of stuff going on. A lot of wrestlers I did not know. Okay, so I apologize if I butcher any of these names or I don't know everything to do with GCW. GCW, I do need to tune in and watch a little bit more often. It's just hard to come by them when there's a lot of wrestling during the week, like MLW, Impact Wrestling, AEW Dynamite, Rampage. You got all these other shows like Dark, Elevation, Ring of Honor. There's just so much wrestling to take in during the week, and I can't get to it all. So I thought, hey, I was watching on Fight, and they were going to have GCW on, and then they had Bloodsport replay and all this stuff, because Bloodsport came on first, then it was Multiverse, then it was DDT, the promotion that works with AEW and GCW and all this going on after Multiverse, and then it was this. It was so confusing, Fight. So confusing. But anyway, I totally get it. There was so much wrestling to watch until 2 in the morning, Pacific Standard Time. Anyway, make sure again to be like and subscribing because I got a lot of videos coming up throughout the weekend, a lot of wrestling news, a lot of things for you guys here on this channel and throughout all my channels everywhere. So stay tuned and watch. And make sure to be enjoying the videos. Let me know. Give me some feedback. Anyway, For the Culture, let's get into this. Faye Jackson versus Devin Moreau and Terry Yoski versus Darius Carter and Kenta Murray, Jay Diz and Austin Slur. Carter does his thing. Meanwhile, in the match, he is making himself match obviously heel immediately so people can somewhat hate him. Faye Jackson is the sexy at people, does the sexy at people, then takes a turn during this stuff. This match was interesting to me. It had a lot of flips, dives. A lot of the matches had flip, dives, and dodges, right? A lot of off the rope. And I like the ring announcer guy. Like, whoever's doing GCW's ring announcer for the culture stuff was freaking beautiful. But I wish they had more cultures being supported here. Stuff from Mexico or stuff from Japan, things like that. I saw more of what's going on in the United States with the African-American stuff, more featuring that and having titles based around it. I get it, understand, I respect it. But I wish there was more. Like, for instance, Japanese mixed in maybe with some Italian, with Russia or whatever. They say they're for the culture. Want to have all cultures being represented, not just what's going on in the States. I totally get what they were doing with this, the whole movement and all that, and I get it. But at the end of the day, they could have had so many different cultures. Every country has their problems. Everybody has their thing. I like what GCW is doing here. And I felt GCW is taking or copying WWE with some of the things. Like, GCW, I get it. You want to work with WWE so hard, but stop acting like them. Stop trying so hard in camera shots and actions and things. Stop trying to be so much like them. I saw it on the pay-per-view for the culture. And during Willie Mack's match, I kind of felt those vibes with the door being fake and chair shots being hit in the back. Like, be you guys. Be your own thing. Stop trying to copy WWE. Like, I just don't understand it. I don't get it why you guys are trying so hard to be the next coming of WWE. GCW, be your own thing. And some of it was kind of gimmicky. Like, it falls flat, some of the things. Like in the Willie Mack match against Billy Dixon, it just really, to me, was a little bit gimmicky. Like, they're doing too much in a match to make it believable for me. Willie Mack is good in his own right. You don't need to do all this work to make it happen. But I guess there was a build-up. I guess I need to start watching GCW a little bit more. There was a build-up. There was a beginning, middle, and end. And I get that. There was shows prior to this to build up to this. And really, I should be sitting down and watching GCW. Again, like I said, they need to be about all cultures, not just about one thing. You know what I mean? I felt it was about one thing and the message was being sent. Like, I guess they have an African-American title, I guess. I didn't get that, but, you know, it's not for me to understand. And I get they're doing the whole kind of Creed, Rocky kind of vibes in GCW with this stuff. I get it. But again, I wish there was other cultures being featured. You know, I get the whole African-American thing. I get it. So understand it. I respect it. I so respect it. I get it. You know, I am a Caucasian male in the United States. I'm a white American. I get it. 100%. I totally get what's going on and what's going down, and I get it. But I wish there was other cultures being represented, you know, here, like, for instance, Japan, or maybe, you know, Mexico, or Puerto Rico. There was so many calls GCW could have made. Like, you know, they could have called, you know, a lot of people, you know what I mean? Like Carlito, they could have called him in. They could have done so many different things for the culture, because there's a lot of devastation in a lot of worlds too. But again, there was a buildup probably to this pay-per-view. And, you know, again, I was enthralled with Billy Dixon. No joke. Like, this guy can go. This guy can ball. In a ring, can ball, for crying out loud. Willie Mack, he can go, but he should be in AEW. Like, or Ring of Honor. He should be fighting for titles in Lucha Underground. What are we doing with Willie Mack in 2023? Willie Mack should be either in Impact fighting for titles again, or being somewhere where he could be appreciated. He should not be in GCW. GCW, I feel, is an indie promotion, like an ECW, you know, kind of vibes, trying to be WWE, but not trying to be WWE at the same time. I don't know how to say it. It's weird. But this show was great. It came on. It had a starting time. It had a lot of technical difficulties. They were trying to get it off the ground at 11:30. Then they tried at 11:15. Then they tried at 11:30. Then they tried again. And they were just having technical difficulties. And you could see in the audio and the sound they were having issues. But the announcers, whoever's doing the announcing for GCW, man, they're letting them fly, and flam, and it was really good. It reminded me of Caprice Coleman and Ika Bonnie for Ring of Honor tapings. That's how good it was. I want them on, like, I honestly want Kabani and Caprice Coleman every week on Dynamite or Rampage. I'd take them either way. They should get a promotion, but I'm happy where they're at. And bring these guys in from GCW, whoever was doing For the Culture, bring them in and have them announce something, because they were damn good. Like they complimented each other and everything. And that's where GCW gets a victory from me tonight, was literally the commentators were calling every match, even when the crowd wasn't into it. And you could tell it was a small crowd because people were just exhausted. I'm imagining being in that arena or that place in that room, in the ballroom. I'm imagining having Bloodsport, then having DDT in the same area, and then asking that crowd to stick around for another 2-hour-long pay-per-view. They were exhausted. You could tell exhausted. Like, Billy Dixon goes for a right, gets a bunch of weapons. So it was D'Lo Brown. So D'Lo Brown was literally calling it. And again, D'Lo Brown is the shit. And if he was one of the commentators, man, again, D'Lo Brown says Forbidden Door 4 times before it muted the sound for a moment. He can get that out of his system at the top of the match. And then a scouting report on who had the advantage. D'Lo broke down and he said Mack, the side edge, without saying Willie Mack. He gives credit, wrestled on TV, but Billy Dixon is the one that'll put the show together. Anyway, this is bad with one of the guys at a certain level. Mack is slamming Dixon into the floor while lifting the chair. Given Dixon's girth. Your guess is how it turns out to possibly on one point, and it could have been worse. Again, they were slamming each other. They had a spot with a fake door, and you could see Mack and the referee putting this on the chair, kind of helping them. And I think they botched the spot, or they went through it and it was kind of botched and kind of circusy. But you could tell it was a show door. The minutes his big body went through it, you could see the whole door go poof, and like wood chippings and stuff going midair, like it was fake door. And it was like, GCW needs to fix that production value, especially if they're gonna try to find themselves on a TV network eventually. That's what they say they're wanting to go to next. They gotta fix this stupid stuff. This is the stupid stuff they gotta fix. When you have a spot with a table or something, I don't want to see it like it's a movie set going poof, poof, and poof. It just that to me. Seriously, again, Willie Mack kind of butchered a lot of things at the end and got the loss. It was kind of Willie Mack's downfall. So probably through storylines, they'll probably tell this again, probably between Billy Dixon and Willie Mack. One hell of a match, though. Beginning, middle, and end, one hell of a match. Honestly, watching it, I was enthralled with GCW for what they put on and what they did. Really impressed me. These wrestlers went out of their way. They really wanted to showcase, and a lot of them, I don't know why they're not being signed by major promotions. Some of these guys, like, you know, I'll go into Sharp. Sharp mazed the G Sharp. No shit. Impressed me with this huge cutter from out of nowhere and into a spinning move and eliminated somebody. They had a Survivor match. They called it WWE's version of the cheaper version of WWE Survivor Series match. Kenny King, again, I love Kenny King. Loved him in Ring of Honor. Loved him in Impact. Loved him in MLW. I don't know why this man's not on Ring of Honor right now. I don't know why he is not on AEW. This man needs to have a big stage. He is so good at what he does. Kenny King, I love him to pieces next to Jay Lethal. I've always said it. They were the pillars. They are good at what they do. Kenny King literally was taking people to school today, or last night in the pay-per-view for the culture. But, you know, again, Alpha Zoe, you know, JD Storm, Jeffrey Johns, AJ Mack, Sledge D, like these guys, man, are killing it. And, you know, to me, I was entertained. I was hella entertained from the beginning, middle, and end of this 5-on-5, I think it was. Kenny King teams up with the West Coast. I didn't understand. It should have been called the U.S. versus the world, or North America versus the world. I get they were going for the hockey thing / NBA basketball thing, and they came out with Fortune's music. Kind of like an NBA basketball game. They were trying to come out and kind of do like what East Coast versus West Coast. The crowd was into it, like from the beginning of the middle of the end. So Kenny led Team West Coast, and Serge D's team was the World. West Coast versus the World Survivor Series rules. Mack eats a burial knee party early, but strikes keep moving. Zoe and Mack make it for a nice hot start. Going good because of the show was badly needing an energy after promoter Dud, Maxie, and Storm did some nice stuff. a sub for Jesselyn Navarro. I think as Navarro got injured, apparently Kenny King and Serge D have careers that have momentum one another. So basically, there were stories between his story, and you could tell during this match, the 5-on-5, Kenny King and a lot of them recognized the crowd was kind of dead. Like, you got to remember that you had two other pay-per-view shows in the same crowd, in the same audience. You got to imagine people have been drinking a lot. You got to imagine people are exhausted. They've already gone through probably like 2 hours, and now you're asking them to sit down for another hour and a half for the culture. And, you know, honestly, they're exhausted at that point. You know, you could tell like people were leaving because it's getting late. Like, wrestling should not go on like during the week past whatever certain times. And I get it's WrestleMania weekend, but I think wrestling should not go on a Thursday first and foremost. It should be Friday. But it's too much wrestling to ask for the human to consume. But the people that were there, man, you could tell they were exhausted when they got into this. Again, West Coast did win this. Again, AJ Mack rushed into where Zoe and King both rolled them up for a 1-2-3. It was kind of hokey, kind of gimmicky, but it was really good at the end. Kenny King, amazing talent. Again, can't say enough. Then we get to the meat and potatoes of the night. We have Too Cold Scorpio versus Brian Keith. Brian Keith is the future, I guess, of GCW. And Too Cold Scorpio, I remember him in ECW's, TNA, and other places. Again, they were talking about how they're rolling the time. Too Cold Scorpio pulls off these moves at his age of almost, I think, 55 or 60, I think. Is just a beautiful thing to me. Again, Brian Kenneth, I can't say that enough about him. Really good piece of talent. Young. Again, they get a 3.5 out of 5. During the match, again, kicks all around, a kick to the head, a couple kicks to the chin, a devastating, like a moonsault into, like, it was like a half moonsault from Scorpio, Scorpio into a Fox Splash. 1-2, and then a kick out, like tons of kick outs, and then a mistake was done by Scorpio to get the victory for Brian Keith. But again, Brian Keith, everybody, like, after every match respected each other. Again, Scorpio's 57 years old. Okay, so in my notes I did put he's 57 years old. That for him to do what he was doing at 57 and being a little overweight. God, that's me. I want to be Billy Gunn. I want to be Scorpio when I'm their age, man. Being jacked and still being able to do wrestling moves like it's coming out of style. That's insane to me. Like, insane. The dude is a really good wrestler and deserves a strong fashion every time he wrestles. And so the difference in style was like strong style kicks back and forth. I thought at one point there was a pile driver or a Canadian destroyer done by Too Scorpio. But again, this match went the distance. Again, I was royally entertained. Again, if that's what GCW, this is what GCW should be doing. The 5-on-5 Survivor stuff, the whole extreme match stuff, like, I can't get behind them on because it's so stupid and ignorant to me. Willie Mack's a good piece of talent. You should not have him. He should be having those 5-star matches already at this point. Again, we get into match of the night. One of the matches of the night. We had Kevin Knight and man like DeReese and Martin Reed. This was placed on the card. Let's see. This was for a title. I didn't even understand what it was. The name of it. What the name of the title was. Again, it just, to me, it made no sense. It just made no sense what it was for. It was like, I believe it was the African American Pure Communities title or something like that, or the Pure African American Pure title or something like that. It was some weird because D'Lo, part of the commentary, he butchered some things. And again, it just made no sense. Kevin Knight, again, I can't say that enough. One hell of a competitor. Again, it was for the Black Wrestlers Matter Championship. Okay. I thought it was the African American Peer Culture Community Champion, where they pick the 3 wrestlers that do the most community work for wrestling and stuff like that. I that's what I thought it was. My apologies. Apologize. Somebody's gonna get offended by me butchering that, and I apologize to you real quickly. Please, I'm not. Again, I don't know what's for the culture stuff is when it comes to GCW, so bear with me. I know who Too Cold Scorpio is. I know who Billy Mack is. I know who Billy Dixon is. I know who Kenny King is, and I know who a lot of these other guys are. Again, I don't know some of the unfamiliar names in GCW that are up and coming risers, okay, in the company, you know what I mean? And G Sharp should be signed by somebody major. He is so good. Like, again, I can't say that. Darius Carter, again, I can't say that enough. Frey Jackson, another one. Like, a lot of these names, like, I'm not gonna kid you, should be signed by either WWE or AEW right now. I just can't say that enough. These matches, man, were beautiful. Like, every match. Kevin Knight is an up-and-comer guy for New Japan Strong / New Japan. Fred Russer, another one that was underlooked by WWE, is so good here in anything. And I know they're part of a different organization, but again, it brings my point. These are wrestlers that should be signed. And, again, this pay-per-view was really good. For the Culture was damn impressive. I was marking out literally for the Black Wrestlers Matter Championship. That match I was marking out. I like Kevin Knight. He's an up-and-comer. Again, man like Marius and Marion Reed, my goodness. Mwah. Great match, off the ropes. Overall, this could have been on a WWE pay-per-view, and I would have been happy with that. Cruiserweight belt. If they replaced that championship with the cruiserweight belt, I would have been, and they put it in a WWE like NXT and had these guys fight, it'd be a banger. Straight up a banger. Again, then we had the Pan-African World Disputa Wrestling Champ. I apologize if I'm butchering that name so hard. Words are hard with me. Trish versus Calvin. Man, this match. Can I tell you guys? This match. Hell yeah. Reminding me so much of Tessa Blanchard and literally Sami Callihan from the minute go. And I've never watched a Tasha Aldora match before, but I am a fan. I am a fucking fan. And part of my language with that one, I am a fan. Blew my mind. And Calvin blew my mind. Like, this match had it all. I mean, short of a loss of bearing and this underhook move that she does, kind of like a last chancery. AEW, sign this person. Please sign Trish to a contract. Major money. She is good at what she does. Impact, sign her too. Good match overall. Again, she was rocked, had glass eyes, kind of like what a Tessa Blanchard match would be. Back and forth. Again, one hell, I can't say this. Trish, a lot of was selling a lot of the moves, the big elbows. There was this backhand fist that Calvin threw that I thought she was knocked out, like glass-eyed and all. And then he was gonna, she said, hit me harder. She was saying that many times. She was like, dude, hit me harder. And I was like, just damn. She said, don't hit me with this baby shit. Hit me with the, literally. And I was just like, damn. Just damn. I was like, damn. And then D'Lo Brown and whoever the other guy was on the commentary, man, selling it great. Anyway, I got to give this pay-per-view a B minus. I think for the funny of D'Lo Brown and some of the commentary, gotta give it a C minus or B plus. Or sorry, B minus. 7.75. Thank you guys for stopping in. Make sure to rate, like, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. And hope you guys enjoyed that pay-per-view too, because I enjoyed it. I'll be watching more for the culture stuff from GCW. Anyway, see you guys.